Hello Internet, it's trusty Phil Brown here again with another movie review for this week. This week I'm taking a look at They Came Together, a parody of romantic comedies by director David Wayne and his co-writer Michael Showalter. You might know them from Wet Hot American Summer, a cult movie from the start of the 2000s that was a similar take on camp comedies. This is the first movie they've done together in this way since then, and it almost feels like a sequel in certain ways. They have a very unique style. Closest point of comparison are the Zaz team, who made Airplane and Naked Gun back in the 70s and 80s. Parody movies have become kind of a dirty word since then because the style's been sort of ripped off by scary movies, disaster movies, superhero movie, all those horrible just strings of pop culture references without meaning. When parody's done well, like it was in Airplane, or even better what Wayne and Showalter do with it, it comes from people who are very smart filmmakers who understand the cliches of bad movies and point fun at them while conforming to them and making sort of deeply meta movies that sort of make fun, that poke fun at cinematic conventions by people who understand why they work and why they don't. They Came Together is very, very, very self-conscious to the point where it always makes 22 Jump Street, which was rather brilliant, look like amateur hour when it comes to tearing apart movie cliches. It deliberately conforms to crappy romantic comedy structures, specifically the Nora Ephron School, and even more specifically, You've Got Mail. Paul Rudd stars as a fast-talking business guy from a big major candy corporation, while Amy Schumer plays a klutzy gal who runs an independent candy shop. They're like oil and water. They meet, they hate each other, eventually they fall in love, eventually they break up, eventually get back together, da-da-da-da-da. You've seen it a million times before. No one knows that more than Wayne and Showalter. And they've created a movie that just deliberately makes fun of that. I would describe it almost like cinematic sarcasm, where they play out scenes you've seen a million times before, almost straight, but with a slight wink to sort of clue in that they know how stupid it is. For example, there's a great scene when Rudd's hanging out with his friends who all openly describe how they're each represent part of his personality. If you learn a lesson from all of them, you become a better person. That's a sort of joke that you need to kind of understand cliched and obvious Hollywood screenwriting to get. Showalter, when he's not doing comedy, works as a screenplay teacher at NYU. This feels like a movie made by someone who works in that profession. So it takes a certain level of understanding of film and cliches to understand, but at the same time, it's the type of movie in which there's a waiter with a literal pole up his ass, and there's a 5-minute-long poop joke that in a certain way is a joke about poop jokes. They have a weird style. It's both sort of po-faced satire of movie conventions and also deliberately goofy, silly, surreal comedy. They're smart about being dumb, dumb when they're smart, and have to be on their wavelength. If you do, it's wonderful. That's why Wet Hot American Summer has become a cult hit, but it's certainly not for everyone. That's why Wet Hot American Summer is not particularly well known. They Came Together will play perfectly for the people who like it. It's sort of a great date movie for people who are tired of romantic comedies, or for one partner trying to prove the other partner how silly they can be. There's some incredible moments. There are 2 amazing cameos in it that I don't want to give away, as well as fantastic supporting performances from the likes of Michael Ian Black, Ken Marino, Jack McBrayer, all sorts of wonderful comedic minds who are friends with these guys. These guys have been around sort of alt comedy and mainstream comedy for years now, and they've sort of collected a wonderful collection of people to help them sell this really, truly bizarre comedy. It's very unconventional, very smart, very witty, very much worth seeing, kind of breath of fresh air. In the midst of summer movie season that tickles your brain while also offering you pure pleasure. I highly recommend it, with the caveat that there's a very good chance you won't like it because their style is very alienating, but it's worth a shot because they're so interesting, and it would just be nice to see them make more movies because they have a very unique voice that no one else is really doing right now. So yeah, They Came Together. Movie just as cute and dirty as the title suggests. Definitely check it out. This has been Phil Brown, who enjoys mocking romantic comedies, signing off for RealTimeRants.com.